Hey everyone, welcome to this session. It's a very quick video on using applying shadow effects inside Canva to give a realistic effect to your printable products. And the reason I think it's so important to know is that when you just have an image of your printable against a plain background or any kind of background, it doesn't really stand out unless you apply some kind of a shadow to make it look like a real piece of paper on the background. So this is actually part of my course called Mockup Mastery, but we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail today. We're just sticking with something that's very simple and easy to do, and once you get the hang of it, your mockups will be 100 times better than if you don't use the shadow effect, right? So let's get started with. So here's a printable that I created yesterday, and it's very simple. As you can see, if I didn't have the color in the background, there'd be nothing. It's just plain. And even now I see a lot of Etsy sellers, a lot of printable sellers just using mockups like this, right? But of course, I do have the background, so that's helpful. But again, it's very plain. It doesn't look real. It looks like a picture, on your computer screen. So there's a few different techniques to apply shadows, and we're going to go through these one by one. The first, of course, is using the edit image option. So you go into edit, click on shadows, and click on either glow or drop, whichever you feel like using at that time. And make sure you always adjust it, adjust the color, the distance, angle, blur amount, etc., so that it works well with if whatever you have in the background. So that's one of the easiest ways and one of the most common ways to um, create shadow effects for any kind of element inside Canva. So that's number one. The second one, of course, is again we go into elements and we're going to search for drop shadow, right? So searching for all, not frames. And you can see that there are graphics and photos that have a drop shadow. Again, these are all, many of these are pro elements, but you can also find free elements if you are only using the free version of Canva. So something like this, what you do is just take it to just make sure that they align exactly like they should. So I'm making this 0, that's easier, and positioning the image to the front. So it's not perfect yet, but it already starts to look like there's a shadow in the back, right? So I'm going to duplicate this, move it to this side, and flip it horizontal and move it to the back again. So you can already see that this the beginnings of a shadow on both sides. Maybe I should try doing it the other way around. Okay, this is probably better. But yeah, something like this. Again, it even if you don't have a background, it gives a slightly lifted feel. Um, as long as you adjust it correctly. And there's other shadow elements as well. Something like this could work very well here. So I'll probably change the colors to something that's not black, that doesn't, and maybe even reduce transparency. So there's still, it still looks lifted, but not as dark as it was earlier. So that's one way to do it. Another one is, again, this is another nice one. It's almost transparent. Um, so you can place it, just behind the image, adjust the size, move it to the back, and there you go. So that's a really good way to create shadows if you want something a bit more unique than the the simple edit image version that we did first, right? So that's option number 2. Option number 3 would be duplicate the image and adjust settings. That's a really good one. So what we're doing here is duplicate this image, right? So you can see this one here, I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to click on edit, click on adjust, and reduce the brightness, increase the shadows, reduce the whites, increase the blacks, increase the saturation, reduce the vibrance, just make it as dark as you. So I'm not going to bother with the colors so much, but just making it as dark as possible so that it doesn't really matter. So that I have the exact same shape with a darker color. And I'm going to move this to the back of the original image. Hold it down and slightly expand it so that you have it slightly larger, and then you can position it middle and center, and there you have a different shadow. So here you can select the image at the back, not the front one, the back one, and adjust the transparency. Yeah, I think that's the only adjustment you can do here, but it works. So not a very fancy one, but this is especially good to use if you have, let's say, something like a gift tag or a clip art which does not have a smooth edge. This is one option you can consider. So let me remove this. Let's look at just to show you what that could look like. So here we have some clip art, and one option is to apply shadows to it directly, so that gives you a slight shadow effect. That's one option. The other option, of course, is to do what I just did. Take the image at the back, make it slightly larger, and change everything to, so this gives a slightly 3D effect, isn't it? So yeah, something like this. When you adjust the position, this can work quite well. Okay. And the last technique, which I use quite a lot in my own mockups, and that's because it helps to apply the bulk create option in the new version of Canva, is actually uploading a PNG shadow image to my mockup templates. So I have this in the back, and then this goes in the front. And whenever I have a new image, let's pick something from here, I simply drag and drop, and it automatically has the shadow, because it's just a shadow image at the back, right? Let's try this. So it's just a PNG image that sits at the back, and that applies a shadow. So that's it. Just a few different techniques you can use to apply shadows in Canva. The first one was edit the image. The second one is to apply a drop shadow. The third one is to duplicate and make the image at the back really dark and make it slightly larger than the image in the front, and you have your own unique shadow. And the fourth one, of course, is using a PNG file that stands by itself. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just drop me a note. And thanks again for staying with me. Thank you. Bye-bye.